Broadcasting from the inner sanctum of human emotion, your radio just got personal. America's first competition talk show. You're in the Hub.
Hey, welcome to the Hub. My name is Joel Aaron, and I'm joined all this week by Jason Shepard, who is running for State House in Georgia, which is where we film the Hub radio show. And, kind of an interesting thing has been going on here lately. I'm kind of happy to see it. Antoine Dodson is a household name in the online world today. But he was dethroned. Okay, well, maybe not quite, but almost. You know, the whole grab your kids, grab your wife, they're raping everybody out here. That thing. Anyway, he was dethroned last week by one Jimmy McMillan, and the birth of the rent is too damn high party. Right. He was at the gubernatorial debate in New York State, and Cuomo actually had a good sense of humor about this. He said at one point, "Yeah, I agree, the rent is too damn high." But we're finding out so quickly in the infant stages of the early stage stratospheric growth that surely will come to the rent is too damn high party, that corruption exists. Oh yes, also in the rent is too damn high party, because its lead candidate right now at this point, its only candidate is living with the corruption in his own life. He is a hypocrite, it turns out, because he has not paid rent since the mid-1980s. Jason, this further erodes America's strong belief in government.
I think it's how you look at it, though. Sure, he's not paying monetary rent, but he's a maintenance man. He has to do work, and in a sense, that's his rent. And maybe he's doing too much work. Yeah, he's doing too much work.
Okay, so he's getting back to...
obviously, he's doing way too much because he doesn't have time to participate in political debates or running for office. And by the way, can we say damn on the radio? We're on the internet. So
we're on the internet now, so we've got it taken care of. But it's this kind of thing that causes riots in the streets. Maybe not the kind of riots we're seeing in France right now, but riots in the streets eventually. It's bad representation. Speaking of France, France has been in a month-long riot here now over the new austerity measures that they're putting in place there, raising the retirement age from 60 to 62, and basically lowering the pension payouts for their employees, and so they are doing what the French do best. They are setting things on fire and turning over cars, and apparently the anarchist youth are out throwing things in storefront windows again. So we're back to where we started, aren't we? With the French, it's kind of historical.
French Revolution when they start getting out the guillotine to
solve problems.
Solve problems. Well, no. France only, I think the last execution with the guillotine in France was in the 1950s. But
we were eating apple pie. They were cutting people's heads off. Exactly. There's a little bit of a paradox there. Yeah, old habits die hard.
Well, the one difference, France is so heavily unionized, and of course that union says strike, you strike. When the union says burn a car, you burn a car. And France really illustrates the old adage that they're facing a rapidly aging population. They don't have enough replacement. They have a heavy immigrant population that is also demanding rights, a heavy illegal immigrant population due to their very loose immigration measures and enforcement. And they're facing the problem that all socialist countries face, that eventually you run out of other people's money.
Well, and that's the thing that a lot of folks are saying about in this country with the austerity measures that will surely come and are in the works here in the U.S. How is the middle class in America going to respond? Are we going to see the same kind of response? Any different? Level heads like Alex Jones are proposing that, and it's, but you bring up a good point. It is fully unionized in France. There's a big difference with what we have here. I mean, if they were to handle it the way Reagan handled the FAA back in the 80s, right, everybody would just move to Australia. They'd shut down the country. There wouldn't be anybody left to work.
No, they'd all move to Spain, which is just as unionized and socialist as France is. Yeah. Plus, they have better wine than the Australians do. Well, no offense.
Well, they're not known for the wine; they're kind of known for the beer. But
right.
but see, here's the thing. I think honestly, I wonder what would it? At what point would the American middle class wake up? I guess if it happened, if the measures were put in place during sweeps period or during a brand new season of Dancing with the Stars, who's to say? We just, we're still in TiVo mode. We might just say, take all my liberty away, I'll be okay. But
there's something else you have to realize.
We're not exactly seeing the world through the lens of Edmund Burke anymore. So.
No, but you also have to think that most European countries do have a slightly lower standard of living. They don't. You don't find a lot of TiVos in France or DVRs or whatever that, and the same thing with most of Europe. And having right, well, maybe not that extreme, but having a wife from Germany Germany is not going to be much different than France in terms of the standard of living and technology, and in fact, Germany may be further ahead than France. There's a lot of the conveniences and comforts that America doesn't have. I think once you start pulling those away, you'll start seeing a lot more unrest, but. Our prosperity has made us comfortable and has given us an incentive not to riot in the street, not to burn down our own houses, not to destroy our own stores. I mean, one of the things I remember was that I was in Dresden for New Year's Eve a couple of years ago, and what do Germans do in New Year's Eve? I mean, they pack up a bunch of fireworks that would be illegal in any U.S. state, and they go set it off in the middle of the street, and you just walk down. They were throwing things in the front of store windows with the goal of trying to shatter the store windows.
Huh. The French set those off in their dinner table conversations, but that's another world
just
away.
Before the guilmutilation.
Exactly.
After the third wine.
The question here, though, I mean, really,
the question.
Really, how much? I'll ignore it because I don't know it. How much would have to be the? I mean, because how much do you think folks are aware right now that we are trending toward a soft tyranny? I'm not talking about the 20 to 25% of the folks who've been involved in this groundswell of civic outpouring in the last 2 years. I'm talking about the other 60 to 65% that go through their day-to-day life, because we don't know about quantitative easing 2, which is happening as we speak, where the Fed is now round 2 bilking. I mean, it's the largest bilking of banking that has ever occurred. We're printing money and we're buying our own bonds again. We're having the Obama administration now talking about turning over the 401ks to the Social Security Administration.
Right.
We're talking about literally using Social Security and investing it in the stock market to keep that solvent. There's so many things going on right now that I walk around and I wonder, is anybody paying attention?
Well, I think a lot of people are, and I think this election, which is going to be in a couple days, will sort of be the firewall. I think the people who are paying attention, I think there's a large amount of Americans who are paying attention to what's going on. And the one thing about us that's different from the French is the French will go and riot at the drop of a hat. We look to our elections as our form of revolution. And whether it was the idea spawned by Thomas Jefferson's own writings, that this is how America reforms itself. And we have, in our history, constantly reformed ourselves at the ballot box. We've pulled ourselves from the brink many times. And I think the legitimacy, as long as of those elections, and as long as people go in and do what the voters say they are, then what the voters want them to do, then that's going to happen. If we get in a situation where Republicans take control and it doesn't happen, then I think we will see some serious action happening.
223 years of record here. Don't screw it up, Jason.
Except for the whiskey rebellion.
Exactly. Well, and that made the American family, raise hell. At least this spousal stuff. But tell me your platform. Why Jason Shepard? If I'm actually watching the Hub Internet Show within your district this week.
Why Jason Shepard this week?
Why Jason Shepard on November 2nd?
Well, the main reason is we've had a situation in this district where we've had a lack of leadership. We've had a state rep who's been there for several years. He's 3 terms, 6 years, and sponsored 5 pieces of legislation. 4 of those pieces that were actually passed were to give a pay increase to the judge of the probate court. Now, I love our Cobb County probate court judge. Kelly Wilkes is a great Republican, and she wasn't there for those first few raises. But obviously has been a recipient of it. And this is something that does go through the legislature. With the situation that we have now in our state, we don't need someone who thinks that all they do is occupy a chair. we need someone who will provide solutions and ideas to the problems that we're facing, and I'm that candidate.
All right, sending a solution man to the State House. We'll see you tomorrow on The Hub.